2008 was really a monumental year for gaming as a whole. The new generation of consoles had been out long enough where most existing gamers had their hands on one of the consoles already, and kind of falls under one of the last years where gaming really went from being a side hobby into a massive media industry. Sure, in 2008, gaming was very popular, but 2008 kind of was that last year before things exploded in the gaming industry. 2008 was still a simpler time when you had to buy a physical copy of a game. Talking to people on a microphone was still a novelty and something relatively new to gaming. And just as a whole, 2008 was a year where gaming just felt less corporate than it is today. And with 2008 being such a unique and nostalgic year, we can look back and appreciate a lot of the games that came out in 2008 that really changed the industry as a whole, and in general were just great games. We're going to look at the best of 2008. Let's go ahead and get into it. First up, 2007, the year before this, was huge because Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out, and for majority of 2008, Call of Duty 4 was the go-to game that people were playing. It had DLC that released a couple of new maps, which wasn't something that was very commonly done in video games at the time. Sure, Halo 2 had done it, and Halo 3 would do it too, but this was kind of the first time we saw DLC in a Call of Duty game in this fashion, and it was really cool just because the game was so highly competitive. Later that year, Activision would release Call of Duty World at War, which took all of the things that really worked in Call of Duty 4, like the introduction of Create a Class, the map layouts, and having the options for ranks, prestiges, and just in general that camaraderie that was between players in Call of Duty games back in the day. Sure, there was some trash talking, but it wasn't as crazy as it would get in later years. Call of Duty World at War was probably one of the most influential Call of Duty games to date. It proved that the Call of Duty 4 foundation could be repeated in future sequels. It really pushed the boundaries as to what games could have maps look like, and of course was the first game to introduce Call of Duty Zombies. And World at War had some of the best maps for zombies that we have ever seen to date. It's really no surprise that Treyarch continues to remake these original maps in later Call of Duty games just because they were so popular back in the day. Call of Duty World at War would also be the first main Call of Duty game not to have a number in the title, and also be the last World War II Call of Duty game for almost a decade. And honestly, this game was just a lot of fun. But speaking of fun, Saints Row 2 also released in 2008, and while a lot of people were always hyped about the Grand Theft Auto series, Saints Row did a lot of things that were completely unique.